Hi guys, welcome to the RedFlex. We are live and exclusive on all our social channels, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and we've got a great show on for you tonight, or this afternoon anyway.
So
So
you're gonna
we are
say live
welcome.
on Sky Sports then?
Like, well, that's the
Like,
dream, isn't it?
live.
That's the dream. Live and exclusive, and then it goes to an advert.
Pipe dream.
Yeah.
Maybe in a couple of years' time.
Let's
Who knows,
see.
isn't it?
Let's
Who
see.
knows?
Yeah, but yeah. So we have a great show on in regards to the Crystal Palace preview, and I'm joined today by Harris, who is the press conference king. He watches every single press conference at least 3 times,
Yeah,
and
twice.
analyzes all the micro expressions of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and all the questions, and he makes very meticulous notes to share on this platform. So, firstly, let's get straight to the press conference, then, Harris. So, as concisely as you can. I know you've got probably a lot of notes and a lot of information to go through.
Got it on the wall there. I've got it up. I'm looking at it now. I've got the whiteboard there. Looking at the notes.
Yeah.
It's full of notes. Full of notes.
But yeah, as concisely as you can.
Yeah.
What were the main kind of points from the press conference that was held earlier today?
Yeah. So I think one of the first questions was obviously, if all the media made a big hoo-ha about Solskjaer's reaction to the penalty, he's normally quite cool, calm, and collected, but obviously he got a bit animated, let's say.
Yeah, well, for him anyway.
Yeah, it's only a couple of times I've seen him,
get
a bit irate, and obviously this was one of the
justified
occasions.
Though.
Yeah, justified. It was a penalty.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about it before. Whichever way you look at it, it was a penalty. People want to maybe say, but it was open to interpretation. I'm sorry, it's not. There. Handball. Did it touch his hand? Yes. Was his hand in an unnatural position? Yes. It's a penalty. Then there's no other ifs, buts, maybes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway,
he
got asked that question.
It was a clear penalty, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, he just said, look, the game's done. After the game, I'm just thinking about Crystal Palace, and now I'm not going to talk about that. So he just kind of brushed that off. So he didn't really answer any more questions about the penalty decision, which is probably a good thing because if he had, the media would have had
no point dragging it on, is there? Yeah,
media would have had a feel that he can't let it go, blah blah blah. He's got other things to worry about than a bloody penalty that that wasn't given and all that kind of.
Just on that note as well, just before you continue, Harris, I think I'm not sure whether he said this in the actual press conference or not, but he has earlier alluded to the fact that since a lot of kind of managers and pundits and other people were talking about Man United getting lots of penalties, etc., it's completely stopped from that point, or getting a lot less decisions. So did he actually mention anything to do with that?
No, I didn't. Not in the. Not
didn't mention it. I
mean,
that's interesting.
I think, to be fair, from what I remember in the games, I don't think we've had that many incidents. We can't. I can't remember on top of my head where it was like, that
Harry Maguire's goal, for example, should have stood. I think he got fouled in the previous game, and this incident as well. I think that there has been quite a few.
Yeah, I mean, whether it, there's no need to go into whether there's some sort of conspiracy going on and all that kind of stuff. But it is what it is. It wasn't given. Should have been a pen. Would we have ended up winning the game? Who knows? Chelsea might have been a bit more attacking. They might have scored. We don't know. But draw's a draw. It wasn't ideal. We move on. We have to beat Crystal Palace. Obviously, you got asked about play fitness, which is obviously the main reason why we always wait, for the press conference, because we obviously, we want to give you guys the latest kind of match squad information. And Cavani's been training. He just said, he's waiting to see if he's had any sort of reaction today. If he doesn't, then he'll be in the squad. He didn't confirm, obviously, whether he'd start or not. Although you'd like to think if he's fit enough, he will play. Especially considering, Martial is,
woefully out of form.
Out of form, and he keeps on getting chance after chance. Obviously, he confirmed Pogba's out. Still, he goes, he's not back in training yet. So that's not good news, because that means, although I was hoping he would be fit enough to play City, looks very unlikely.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
More than likely, it's going to be AC Milan at Old Trafford, where he comes back into. But obviously, we will discuss that in the coming shows. But yeah, I think Donny van de Beek is fit. Jones, he got asked about again. Jones again had a setback, so I think he's happy earning his.
Why do they keep asking about Jones? I don't get it. What do they want United to do? I think they want him to play. They want him to play, don't they?
I don't think he's going to play this year. I don't think he's going to play this year. Yeah. I think he's happy to sit on his £100,000 a week or whatever he's on, and he's going to ride it out till the summer. And then obviously we'll have to either let him go on a free, or we're going to have to do something where we pay his wages and he goes out on loan somewhere, which is going to be absolute farcical. But yeah, that's not something that I want to discuss in this show. But yeah, I think that they were the main kind of topics that got discussed. Obviously, he got asked, about the title race, and he said, "Look, it's not over till it's over. They're gonna keep on trying. They're gonna, they are the closest rivals to Man City, and obviously they're gonna, try and win every game, which obviously is something he has to say, which doesn't really mean a lot. I think for United, as our title suggests, I think it's all about keeping second now. You got to kind of make sure if you're not the best team, you're at least best of the rest, and make sure
Yeah, I think that's important for us. Yeah, that's going to be massively important in regards to trying to stay away from that pack. If we get involved in that pack, which we're very close to now, this is why we need to win for sure. So is there anything else that you mentioned in the press conference?
Nothing major. No, there's nothing else worth kind of mention. Obviously, the draw against Chelsea maintains our 6-point gap to 5th. I don't think anyone else, even I know Everton, Villa have got some games in hand, but still, I still think the gap would be the same. I think I might be wrong. I think maybe if Everton win, actually, I think they will go to 4th and West Ham go to 5th. So the gap will be 5 points rather than 6. So yeah, it's still a little bit uncomfortable. You want that gap to be 6, 7, 8, ideally. Then that way, mentally, you kind of know, even if you have a bad game or a draw here and there, it's not going to really affect your top 4 chances. But yeah, let's wait and see. I mean, Zaha's injured, so he will not be fit. Roy Hodgson, in his press conference, wasn't happy at all whatsoever. The fact that this is the rearranged game from when United were due to play them on the weekend when they have the FA Cup game against Leicester. So, he wasn't happy whatsoever, because after that game, Crystal Palace don't play for 3 weeks because of the international break as well. So he was like, it just makes no sense at all. For us, we've got players out injured. We need that 1 week gap, which, it's all kind of crybaby stuff for me. You've got teams like United playing every 3 days, and he's crying about having to play, one
early excuses for his defeat.
Yeah,
I guess.
Play one midweek game, which teams like Palace don't ever play because they have weeks off. There's no kind of like European games for them. But he's crying about having to play because he's got some of his players that, well, you know what? This is the Premier League. Everyone's got injuries. You have to deal with it. So I've got no sympathy for Roy Hodgson. And I'm hoping for a big victory for Man United tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's a nice little link to the next section we're going to talk about, is in regards to what we feel the result could be and who we feel should play. So firstly, I think we're going to focus on who we think we should play, because as we mentioned earlier, we've still seemed to kind of continue to play Tony Martial for whatever reason. I know we probably don't have that many options, but surely we can make some changes to the way we play to make sure he doesn't play any games, because he's not contributing anything at all. So Harris, who do you think should definitely play this game?
I think it'll be De Gea, Wan-Bissaka. I've got a feeling he's going to play Bailly because he wants to play Lindelof against City, which that, again, absolutely disastrous it would be to do that. I'm just not a fan of Lindelof in that back 4, but that's what he's going to do. And whether they play with the false 9, City, I don't know. How he wants to play. He's going to play high line. He's going to drop deep. All that kind of stuff comes into it. But I can see Bailly playing this one 100%. Bailly will play. Maguire, Shaw. I don't think we'll see Telles. I think he'll just be safe for maybe the game against AC Milan. The pivot, I'd like to see. I think it will be Matic. I think this is how he likes to rotate, doesn't he? He likes to rotate them up.
Do you want to see McFred, Harris? Since you're a big fan of those, aren't you?
I said in the last game, I don't want to see. I don't want to see Fred anywhere near the first team, but I think he will play.
I think you may be disappointed.
Against City, he'll play. I know that for sure. No matter what, he'll be playing against City. Whether he'll play against Palace, I'm not sure. I'd like to see Matic. I think it'll be Matic and one of either Fred or Scott McTominay. Again, absolute shocking midfield against a poor team, which offers no creativity, which is again one of the reasons why we struggled to score on all these amazing stats of how we've not scored an open play against top 6 well. I think you're going to struggle if you keep on playing Fred in all those big games. But I'm not going to rant about that.
With Wan-Bissaka and with Dan James, so those four combined is not a good start if you want to.
Yeah, I'm not going to rant about that. Obviously, Bruno
good football and score some goals.
Bruno play, Rashford on the left. If Cavani's fit, 100% he'll play up top. If not, I think you'll see the similar front three: Rashford, Greenwood, James. I don't think you'll see Martial on the starting lineup. No way. I think Solskjaer's making his point now by dropping him to the bench against Chelsea, and I think that'll be the way again, regardless of whether Cavani's fit or not.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think just that sign that we went with Dan James instead of Tony Martial. I think Ole just has lost all kind of patience with him now. He gave him ample opportunity for him to kind of hopefully get back into form. He's just not doing it. So for whatever reason, that has given Dan James an opportunity, and he's doing okay. To be fair to him, I know if Qasim was on, he wouldn't like to hear this, but he's doing okay. He's not doing any worse than any other forward, to be honest. I know everyone seems to think that Rashford's having a great season. In terms of stats, yes, maybe, but too inconsistent. There's times where he's not good enough at times. At times he is. So, I mean, it is worth having him on the pitch because you just know at some point he may do something that may create a goal or may score a goal. So, yeah. But with Tony Martial, literally nothing. No moments, nothing. He doesn't deserve to start at the moment, and I hope he doesn't. Regardless if it's Crystal Palace and we need to rest people before Man City or whatever it is, I don't want to see him on the pitch as a starter at the moment. And I think you also do tend to agree with that, Harris.
Yeah, I just don't want to see him. I said it in the lineup. I don't want to see him. Shame that Matt is injured. Obviously, I think he would have featured in some of these games on the right. I know he's played there quite a few times last season. So shame that he's not an option, because I think he would have been a good option, especially against those teams that play the low block. I think that bit of flair, bit of creativity would have been good. But it's we have to deal with what we have. But we should have enough quality, to be honest, to be part of an indifferent. They don't score many goals.
If they turn up and we don't, it's going to be a tough afternoon.
There's no Zaha. The only threat I can see is Christian Benteke. If that is the case, then again, we can push forward. We can play high line because he's not really going to beat anyone for pace. So let's see, isn't it? I think if Zaha was playing, I would have been worried. I know. Abdul, you've accused me in the past of saying, what is this opposition? What threat are they going to cause us? But literally,
every time you've said that, I don't think we won a game.
Newcastle. I said it before. Newcastle.
But not very often. Not very often recently, anyway.
Palace are just a one-man band. If Zaha shows up, they get a result. If he doesn't show up, they lose the game. Zaha's not fit. He's not going to be anywhere near Selhurst Park. So let's hope we can get a win.
Yeah, I mean, I think regardless of our form, it's been quite indifferent recently. But again, we still expected to beat Crystal Palace, especially as you alluded to, because they are without Wilfried Zaha, who makes a massive impact to their team. In regards to some comments, just before we go to what we think the score is going to be, I'm just going to refer to some comments I think made by, I think it's Souness Carragher maybe, and I think Alan Shearer may have said something as well in regards to Manchester United need a world-class striker for them to go to the next level. I tend to agree with that. I know we've got Edison Cavani, but even in that kind of article that was written that, Edison Cavani 5 years ago would have been the perfect striker for us. It's a shame we've got him now towards the end of his career. Having Edison Cavani at this point, even towards the end of his career, he's head and shoulders above the quality that we've got already, which just shows, how we are lacking any sort of real world-class quality up front. And that's a shame. We've got Edison Cavani, who was kind of deemed surplus to requirements at PSG. And for us, he's our star striker who's like head and shoulders above anyone we've got up front. So what's your view on the fact that we need to sign someone?
I think I agree with that, but I don't agree with this whole concept that we've needed someone like him for a while. We would not be having this conversation last year about this. We need to remember, post-lockdown, even before, Martial, Rashford and Greenwood after lockdown.
Were we still not asking for at least another striker?
Yeah, and we've got it, Cavani.
Sure we were.
We've got it.
We've got it. As in, we've got him, but longer term, and he's towards the end of his career. I mean, although he's doing great, so there's no question about that. He's doing great.
It's all, these things change as things develop. If someone, if our defense were absolutely shocking, we'd be on the show saying, oh, we need a centre back. We've been crying out for one for ages, blah blah blah.
They are shocking, and we do need a centre back.
Yeah, it's just whatever part of the team isn't functioning. We're always going to say, oh yeah, you need this, that. But for me, I was happy with that front three. I thought they would have done something this year. Obviously, Martial had been a massive letdown. Greenwood's had his issues off the field and, a few form issues and fitness and all that. But
he is getting back to form now, though. He's shown some signs where he's
still very young. So, we can't rely on him completely. Obviously, Sancho would have been nice to obviously complement them three. We didn't get him, which was probably a bigger issue because we need to remember last year we weren't saying we needed a striker. We were saying we needed a right-sided player. That was the big clamour last year. There wasn't this massive clamour for a striker because they were playing so well. They were scoring goals. The stats were great. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, we've talked about Martial before. Is he finished? Is he going to go? Can he get back to form? All that kind of stuff. But regardless, it would be nice to get a striker. But the problem is the type of striker we need. I don't think we can get that type of striker. We can't get Kane. We're not going to get Haaland. That's a pipe dream. So, it's like, who do you get then? As in, like, are we just going to settle for second best? I'd rather extend Cavani's contract. I'd rather keep him and just say, yeah, fine. Here you go, mate, another year. So, if
he is fit. He's extremely fit. So I'm sure we can get another season out of him. Hopefully, that's an injury-free season as well. And just what he said links into a comment made by Andy Cole as well this week, who said that Manchester United can no longer attract the biggest names in world football. And I think he's got a point, to be honest. I think he has got a point, but I do still think there are still some world-class players who still would like to join United, especially because they are on the up. But Andy Cole was very blunt. He's very clear in what he said. He said that Manchester United cannot attract the world's top talent anymore. So do you think he's right?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, you'd like to think players are coming for the brand, the history, the badge, not just the fact that United are just, it's a team that's winning titles. You'd like to think it's not only because of that. Obviously, it makes a difference. I don't think there's any. You'd like to think
wages make a big difference, and United do pay well.
Wages have always been, the wages have always been there, regardless of whether they've been winning leagues or not. You'd like to think that they will be in the Champions League next year. So, someone thinking about that, hopefully, is going to be he's thinking, that they will make Champions League. So that shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, I think most of the teams will probably want to go to a team that's either just about to win a title or has just won a title. I don't know. If that's the reason, then yeah, they probably wouldn't come to United. But United's still the biggest team in the world for me, the biggest brand, the biggest name, biggest fan base, and all that business. So, if they don't want to come, then fair enough, don't.
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, normally, if you have a world-class manager who has a fantastic reputation, and some players join for that as well. But
yeah, that's
with
true.
Ole, I don't think he has that reputation at the moment.
Yeah, that pulling power. Yeah, the manager. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, who he's able to bring in? I mean, the only connection he may have is with Haaland, but I can't see Haaland join United, especially with that connection with Rino Miola and with the issue with Paul Pogba. I just can't see that happening. So he's totally off. And with Harry Kane, I can't see why he'd want to join Man United at the moment. Although if he did join, potentially that could be that missing piece we have up front as well. If we get, just for example, Harry Kane and a right winger and a centre back and a central midfielder, which is not going to happen. But
players, I mean,
it's just for one window, it's not possible.
Come, I think he'd rather.
I think he would have come.
I think he's more happy with trying to get Tottenham into the top four. If he goes, I think he's probably not going to.
He'll be abroad, maybe. I think he may go abroad.
Maybe even City, because he knows there's guaranteed. He's going because he knows he's going to win the league, or something like that. So, but anyway, let's not discuss other players. He's not a United player, and he probably won't ever will be.
But yeah, I mean, I would love him. I think he's a fantastic striker. I'm sure everyone else does as well. But yeah, let's move on and continue with the preview for Crystal Palace in regards to what we feel the match result is going to be. And before you give the match result, I want you to try and give some kind of insight into how you think the actual game will actually pan out.
So I think United will have a lot of the ball. I think Palace. I think it'll be typical how teams play against us now. Because they're at home, they won't be completely, two banks of four, all that kind of stuff. I think they will show some ambition. I think they will at points try and commit, but they'll obviously try and hit us on the counter. I think it'll be a bit difficult because they don't have Zaha. They don't have anyone who's extremely quick up front. So hopefully we'll be able to play a higher line. Can squeeze them a bit more. Hopefully we can allow Bruno to get on the ball and make things happen. I think it will be a bit of a grind as well. I think it will be a difficult game. I think the first half, historically this season it hasn't been great. I think it'll be another probably average first half performance. And I think we'll win it. I think it'll be 1-0 or 2-1 to be fair. I'm never confident with United of keeping a clean sheet. Never confident because there's always some sort of error or some sort of mistake or something in there that costs us. So I'm going 1-0 or 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why you'd go for that. I mean, in regards to, I think the main thing that we need to do in this game is try to get Bruno Fernandes in the game. So whoever that is making sure he gets the space he needs. And if he gets enough space, then I'm sure we'll win this game. It's just most teams recently have actually completely just taken him out of the game. They've put a lot of men around him, or they've put men in areas where he likes to operate. And also, maybe teams are going to start to actually get onto this in regards to what Thomas Tuchel did as well, in regards to completely blocking off our left side. If they do that, we become completely toothless because down the right, we're absolutely shocking with Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Dan James. So if teams start to do that, we're going to need to find different ways to break teams down. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. I mean, do you think we need to have Bruno Fernandes in top form for us to win this game?
No, I don't think so. I think Rashford will at some point will get some joy. Maybe even James with his pace. Hopefully Scott McTominay will get a bit more forward. I know he got forward in the last couple of minutes of the last game, which I was very disappointed with. Obviously, tactically, I think that's what he would have been told. But he's got the ability to go forward. Obviously, he was tired and that pass at the end was poor. If it was half decent, it would have been a goal, wouldn't it? Half decent balling would have been a goal. So, everyone's been critical about that game, but there were moments in there where we could have easily scored. Just that final ball, wasn't it? It wasn't that we didn't create, the play or weren't able to open them up. We did. It's just that we weren't able to do that final ball. I think we'll win. I think we'll win. Even Bruno against Chelsea, even though obviously he was, I don't think he had a bad game. Just thought he was, as you're right, tactically, I think Chelsea did really well. Tried to block him out, but yeah, there were moments where he did get the ball and didn't make use of it, which is a shame. Because obviously if he's having less of the ball, you'd like to think he makes some sort of contribution. Whereas in other games he has a lot of the ball, sometimes gives it away, but a lot of the times he makes a contribution. But yeah, I mean, I can see the game following a similar pattern. Yeah, they may deploy similar tactics, but obviously Palace players are not as good as the Chelsea players, so can't see them carrying that out as effectively. I think we'll have chances. Can't see us losing the game, and I'm going to stick with 1-0, 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, in regards to what I feel that it's going to be a similar game to what we saw against Newcastle. Because Crystal Palace are the home team, I think they're going to try to start with that early press against us, put us under pressure, see how we react to it. Because if we don't react well to that, that's going to kind of be an indication for the rest of the game, I feel. So that'll be the test.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if they will. I don't know.
That's how I see it happening. I mean, I see because it was effective for Newcastle, and it can also be effective for. I think any team that tries it against Manchester United is going to be effective because we don't have the kind of technical players who can just kind of manipulate the ball wherever they want. Right. It's always like with Scott McTominay, he always wants that touch. He always wants to kind of flick it with his heel before he passes it. He always has that extra touch. We have Fred, whose kind of passing range is, quite frankly, quite poor for someone in that position. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who cannot pass. As soon as he's pressed, he either just completely bottles it or always goes for a backward pass. So if he tries to do anything, he loses the ball. So yeah, those key things. I would start with an early press if that was me against United. Start with an early press because we do tend to start slow there. So let's see what happens. So yeah. Although saying that, I still do feel like we're going to win this game, and I'm going to go for a 2-0. I think it's going to be quite a tough game, quite an even game at the start. Then hopefully the quality will hopefully then come into our play. We may get a goal before half time, and then we may get a goal towards the end of the game to make it 2-0. Especially that was that hard. I can't see Crystal Palace causes many problems. But again, if Benteke is fit, which I believe he is, if he's then put on either Lindelof or Bailly, then that may be a problem for us, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to avoid obviously trying to get Benteke against Harry Maguire, because Maguire's going to probably win it in the air. So they're going to make sure the ball goes, and he's going to stick to it and defend it, which is not Maguire.
I'm
happy to see them getting a lot of joy.
That's what Bailly to play, because I don't think he'll get joy out of Bailly either, to be fair.
In the air, he has a fantastic leap. So he's very difficult to beat in the air as well. So let's see what happens anyway. Yeah, so as expected, we both feel we're going to win. So let's see what happens tomorrow. So thank you for watching, guys. Also, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. We are on various social media channels, so Twitter, also Periscope, which is part of Twitter. We're on Twitch, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. So follow, like, share, subscribe, guys. Will mean a lot to us if you do so. If you are watching and you haven't done any of those things, can you please do so? And we shall see you after the Crystal Palace game, hopefully, to kind of congratulate ourselves in regards to our fantastic performance, and hopefully not too many negatives, but I'm sure they will also crop up. So we shall see you soon, guys. Thank you for watching.